Hi, guys, and welcome back to Foreign Policies. It's good to be here once again. We are having a bit brighter day than last time, where you could barely see me, and hopefully it will stay like that too. So, I wanted to talk about creativity and how to live a creative life. This topic is very close to my heart because I consider myself a creative and I am an ambassador, promoter of creativity and everything that's good about it. I think it's so important and so essential for life, for personal lives, and also for our lives as humanity, I guess, in general, especially in what's happening nowadays with AI. And I have a fitting shirt for this topic too. And big tech pushing the agenda of creativity is actually not that important. I actually don't even know what the full message there is, because they are trying to sell it as everybody can be creative with AI, or that you can, even if you don't have the skills and the talent, finally you can do something. And a lot of people think that using AI tools is super creative, but I wanted to talk a little bit about all the other ways without AI or without basically any tech to be creative in everyday life. I'm trying to promote that because there's so much wrong with using AI, and sometimes I think I might live in a bubble where everybody knows that it's not good and the reasons why. But sometimes I also meet with people, or I get into conversations, or I see conversations where I realize that actually a lot of people don't know all those things. I can also do an episode about that. This one is not about that, but I would love to be a bit more educative about it if there's need. But there's also already so much material out there, so Google is your friends. Anyway, back on creativity, because on the other hand, a lot of people wonder about what it is, and a lot of people consider themselves not creatives, or that it's something that's not for them, and therefore they are not even trying to be more creative, or they think that being creative is basically a skill or a talent or something that's very redundant. And I don't think that's true. I think creativity is so much more than that, and you don't even have to have any skill or any talent to live a creative life. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. First of all, before anyone gets mad that I label myself as a creative, I'm sorry if you don't agree with that. I think I am. I have the credentials if anyone needs proof, but I don't think you should have proof that you are creative. One of my favorite books, which is not actually a book, it's not a fiction or non-fiction book, maybe it's a non-fiction book, is this one, Creativity by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, which is a Hungarian guy, a psychologist actually, of course, because when I studied psychology we learned about his theory of flow, it says here as well, which you guys might be familiar with already. And he also wrote this book, Creativity, where he was exploring what it is. Essentially, this book itself is about this study that he did with a bunch of creatives from different domains, not just artists, but scientists, businessmen, lawyers, which already was like very interesting to me because I never really considered that those professions can be creative. But in his way and in his approach, it makes sense. And it was very, very interesting to read about it. But he was basically analyzing these creative lives, interviewing them, and just looking at their personalities, their circumstances, turning it a little bit into some type of data that can make it easier to see the patterns in what and how makes someone's life creative and what is a creative life, basically. In this book, he's mainly studying big creativity, not the small type of creativity about everyday life, although he does mention it, and we're like getting a little bit into that too, but the big creatives who are actually contributing something to humanity in their domains. So that's why I don't really want to go depth into what the book is about, only some that are relevant, because obviously I'm not talking about how to be a big creative, how to invent something, how to contribute to humanity, because I have no idea. There's so many different ways to do that. But life itself is creative. Creativity is human, and being creative is what makes us human. Creativity is doing something for its own sake, not for fame, not for money, not for success, but for the enjoyment of doing it, which dates back to the beginning of humanity. Dancing, singing, storytelling, being in this creative activity is a fulfilling experience, and that's why we are doing it. So that's the baseline. If you're a creative who makes a living off of it, of course, money comes into it, and you want to get recognition, you want to get famous, that's fine too. But the root of what you're doing is just purely for the enjoyment of it. So right now, if you can think about anything that you're already doing in your life purely for the enjoyment of it, if you have a hobby, if you have like anything, great start. We are being told that we should only be doing things if we are good at it, not like just enjoying them is not enough. And actually, I think we have been a bit robbed of the enjoyment of things that we are not good at. I also find it hard to enjoy things that I'm not good at, because I think that I would only enjoy them if I'm good at them when I get to a certain level. And I think this is something that we have to unlearn, even though I don't like this word unlearn, but I'm going to use it now. And what I also have to somehow reshape in my brain a little bit, and I'm working on it. I think it's going well, but to know how to enjoy things that we are not good at. Since growing up, I've had some skills in drawing and painting, and of course I grew up in a home where that was encouraged, and I was able to get better and better at it from a young age. Only when I was an adult, or like nowadays, started I thinking about it. Not nowadays, actually, like some years ago now, started I thinking about it is if it's actually creative and fulfilling for me just because I have the skill. I realized that it might not be, and I started looking at other things that could be fulfilling in the same way that I thought drawing was. And this is how I found, for example, photography, because even though I wasn't as good at it, and I'm still learning so much, it gave me that satisfaction, that feeling of just doing it that I needed. And last year I started taking up dancing classes. I don't think I ever really was a great dancer, and that stopped me a lot from ever trying it out for this stupid reason. But I started going to classes, and I'm enjoying them so much. And currently that is the main outlet that I find the most creative in my life. Before I start talking about my, I think, 8 points that I collected to how to live a creative life in small ways, I want to read this quote that's one of my favorite ones from Elizabeth Gilbert, who is the writer of this book Big Magic, which is about creativity, that I actually haven't read yet. I just love this quote. It goes, "A creatively lived life is where consistently, routinely, habitually, you choose the path of curiosity over the path of fear." This basically describes everything that I believe in and everything that I'm trying to preach. And it makes creativity so simple. It just makes it about curiosity. And curiosity is something that you can train and you can practice being more curious on a daily basis, right? It did make me question. I was like, is creativity only curiosity then? Maybe that's all it comes down to. If I look at big creative lives, all of them were curious. All of them were asking questions. All of them were looking at things differently. All of them were like wanderers. And well, now that I'm talking like all of them, like obviously I don't know all the creative people in the world ever, but I feel like that's a trait that they share. Speaking about traits, creative traits, the author of my favorite book collected some personality traits that are usually present in a creative personality, which I also want to read to you guys, because it might be like a revelation to you. Oh wow, maybe I am a creative because I have those things in me. Or I'm just gonna turn the camera a little bit. Like me, I always thought that there was something wrong with me, because I'm a bit like, not controversial, but contradictory in some traits that I have. And seeing this list made me realize that there are other people out there who are like this, which is great. Great to know. Essentially, there's no recipe that makes a creative person. Anybody can be creative, but throughout the study that he conducted, these were some of the traits that were popping up, basically. Curiosity in the world. Ding, ding, ding. Interest in how things work. Wonder, openness, fluid attention. These personalities might also be a bit complex, as I said, contradictory even, like being smart and naive at the same time. I'm definitely like that. Being playful but also disciplined. Being extroverted and introverted. Being masculine and feminine. And the list goes on. What this means is that creatives are able to display a wider range of traits than others, and they move more fluidly between extremes without feeling the need to stick to only one end of the spectrum. So how to live a creative life, right? This is what we're all here for. As I said, you don't have to paint or draw every single day or play an instrument. You actually don't need any skill or talent for these things that I collected, that I do on a daily basis. Starting with number 1, curiosity. How to practice curiosity in small ways. Take a different route from home to work, or to school, or from school to home, or from school to your gym. Take a different route whenever you remember to take a different route. See a new street, a new neighborhood. Go and explore a new part of the city that you haven't explored yet. Go into a store that looks interesting from the window. Read up on something random, something that you have questions about, some topic that you're interested in. What I do a lot is I try a new snack almost every week or every other week. If I go to a store, for example, Lidl, they always have some freaky new snacks. I always love to try a new snack, and they might turn out to be awful, but at least I tried them, and now I know. Number 2, do things for the process, not the end result. We talked about this already. You shouldn't put value on something based on how well it will turn out in the end. A lot of people do this, I think, that they are trying to paint something that's, I'm just going to say painting as an example, paint something that's going to be so nice, so beautiful, and it takes the joy away from it because it might not end up looking so nice and beautiful, and then you kind of feel like, oh, that was a waste of time, or what's the point of doing this if I can't do it right? Instead, do it for the process, do it for doing it. There should be something within you that you want to express through this activity, and that is the whole point, not the end result, but that you're feeling something and you want to put it on paper, put it out there, get it from your head and put it somewhere else. Or even if you don't really know if there's something that you want to put out there, you just want to do something, maybe something will come out in the process, but you cannot plan for the end result to be good or to be anything, actually. Learn to enjoy the cooking of the food and not eating it, the making of the painting and not looking at the end result, the getting ready and not how you end up looking. This last thing was something that I thought about nowadays because, of course, you're getting ready to go out and do something and you want to look good. And this was one of the challenges that I put myself up to, that no matter how I end up looking, and it doesn't matter if I like the end result, I'm going to try to find joy in the getting ready part, the planning the outfit, the doing the hair, whatever. And if we're talking about challenges, number 3 is challenging your brain, because you have to challenge your brain. Your brain is thirsty and hungry, and your brain needs nutrition. And what is nutrition? Challenges. You have to do new things, and you have to do things that you're bad at. Usually when you do new things, you're going to be bad at them. You have to keep your brain occupied by doing something badly, learning how to do it better slowly. If you never do things you're bad at, only keeping to what you already know, your brain will simply not learn anything new and won't be challenged. And it will stay hungry and thirsty. Actually, I'm thinking that this whole list is about your brain. Everything starts in your brain. And being creative is, of course, coming from your brain. So basically everything on this list is about how to feed your brain in a way, and how to improve it, you will have to do stuff that are new and that you're bad at, and you will hate it. Maybe you're not gonna like it. It's gonna be maybe even hard. Yeah, we have to do hard things, but you can do hard things. That's what I always tell myself. This is hard, but I can do hard things, and then you're gonna get good at them, right? Crazy advice. Moving on. Point 4, go on walks. Well, this might be personal to me, but I do think going on walks is good in general for your brain and for your body, but also your brain. It just cleanses your thoughts. You get some fresh air. You look at things. You're moving through space. What's not to like about it? Just go on a short walk. Just go on a walk where you let your mind wander, where you're not worrying about anything, where you're not trying to think about anything. Just get out there and go on that walk. I think a daily walk, or at least every other day walk, can do so much for you. And you might not see exactly what it's going to do for you, but you will need it. Just trust me. Just trust me, okay? Number 5, also just trust me on this. Moving your body. Walking is already moving your body, but finding a way to move your body, like to exercise in a way that you like, and a way that's sustainable for you, this is really important, is also essential. It's so good for your brain to move your body. If you're learning new ways to move your body, your brain is working. In general, like with movement, with doing some exercise, no matter what it is, your brain is mapping out your body. You gain more bodily awareness in general, and that is very important. I think before I was working out regularly, I didn't have bodily awareness, and since then I can control so many more like muscles in my body, not even just new muscles, but muscles that already existed, that were already there. I just had no idea, and now my brain knows that they are there, and I know how to adjust them, and I know how to move them, and I know how to stand so that nothing hurts. I know what to do when something hurts. I know how to listen to my body because I learned it. But movement is also creative in itself, in a small way, or if you are more creative in your movements, like you're dancing, in a bigger way. But essentially, if you're doing it for the enjoyment of it, and because you feel fulfilled because of it, it's creative. But it also recharges your brain so that you can be creative in every other aspect in your life too. Point 6, a classic: get bored. Let yourself be bored. This is very hard for me because I don't like to be bored, but I learned how to train myself to be bored in small ways. So if you can't really put down your phone and just sit on the sofa and stare at the wall and be bored in that way, try putting down your phone in other circumstances when it's a bit easier, when it's a bit more short term. For example, standing in line at the grocery store. As I stand in line and I have to wait, I don't know, a minute, 2 minutes, I look at my phone. I started not doing that because it's actually crazy that you think that you can get bored in 1 or 2 minutes. Our brains are so used to the constant stimuli that we need the phone even for, standing in line or waiting for the bus or waiting for someone, or if you're having drinks with someone and they go to the bathroom, you have to look at your phone just to fill out that time until they get back. Those are the moments where you can train a little bit of boredness, a little bit of boredom. So, your friend goes to the bathroom, just sit there and observe what is around you. If you're standing in line, just stand there. Just look around. Just stare at the wall there, and you know that it will end soon. So it's a bit easier. And if you can do the long-term boredness as well, like if you have the time and if you can get yourself to put down the phone and not do anything, you will be surprised by the thoughts that will come to you. You will have thoughts. And you will have questions, and all of a sudden you will have ideas and inspiration, and the next thing you know, you're doing something. I know a lot of people already know this, but I think it's important to talk about it. Point 7 is something that I actually discovered recently. Not discovered it recently, but like it clicked into this list recently, is to consume stuff. Because so often people say that, consume less, create more. but you can only create more if you already consumed enough. You can only get inspired and explore what kind of things you want to do when you learn what's already out there. So therefore, read books, read a lot of books, watch movies, watch a lot of movies, TV shows, listen to music, go to museums and see exhibitions, just see what's out there, what's made already. And it doesn't even really matter what kind of movies you watch. It doesn't really matter what you listen to. Just listen to something new, explore something new in here too. You learn so much from what was made before you, even if you end up not making another movie or making music or anything like that. It enriches your life and it grows your brain, as the other things that I said, in a way that it wouldn't grow otherwise, and it will stay thirsty and hungry otherwise. Oh my god, don't leave your brain hungry and thirsty. Point 8, this is going to be the last point for today, is to write down your thoughts in your notes. This is also a small thing. You don't have to journal. You don't have to write something like a page every day. If you want to, that's great. If you feel like that's fulfilling for you, that's great. But I think it's easier to start smaller. So whenever you have a thought, a question, an idea, like a random thing, you're walking and you see a bird and you start thinking about birds, and then you're like, oh wow, like actually, how do birds build nests, for example? Like, what is it exactly that they, like, how do they know how to build a nest? Are they just born like that, or what? You have this thought, for example, write it down in your notes. Maybe you have an idea without looking it up, why and how birds know how to build nests. Write it down too. I think it's so important because, well, first of all, it would be better to write some stuff down like by hand. That's the best for your brain to like remember things and learn information. But we don't have a pen and paper with us at all times. We do have our phones, so that's the easiest thing. Keep your thoughts for the future. You never know what might come out of them, but like the most important thing is, even if you don't read them back ever, just by writing them down, they will stick more in your brain. They will be more relevant, and you might not know, but those things marinate in your brain, and you might have an idea, or you might have something in the future as the end result of all of the thoughts that you had and all of the thoughts that you wrote down. And yeah, it's kind of a trust the process thing a little bit, but trust the process and trust me. I know, because I'm smart and I live like this and it works. Anyway, so that was my list for how to live a creative life in small ways. Hopefully it was comprehensible enough, and hopefully it made sense, and I think it's all things that you guys can easily integrate into your everyday lives already. And if you want to be even, more creative, of course, draw, paint, learn a musical instrument and play music, learn how to sing and sing, or don't learn how to sing and sing, like that's okay too. Whatever fulfills you, whatever makes you feel good, whatever feels like it's worth it just for doing it, please do it. Please do it for yourself, for your brain, and for humanity. So I think that was it for today. Thank you so much for listening again and watching again, and see you guys next week. Bye.